I found my way back. Hello YouTubing. Some of you may remember me, a familiar old face. Been quite a while since I did a video. Lots of reasons for that, and I will go into them during the video so you can see what's been going on. I am here to give you all an update on what's been going on, why I've been so quiet on social media and here, and all things fishery related. Let me start off with the first, because that's the one that everyone's going to want to know to start with, I'm guessing. I had the plans to open the fishery in 2025, the April of 2025. So unfortunately, that's not going to happen. There are a number of reasons for why that's not going to happen, but the main one is it's not ready. I'm still not happy with, you know, the surroundings and how they're growing up at the moment. There's still a lot of work here to be done, which I am getting through. But bear in mind, this is also not my full-time job. So this is kind of like a side project for me, and I'm just doing things as I go along. But we'll go into it a little bit more later on. But at the moment, you know, I'm not going to be opening for 2025. However, I will open up eventually. Thank you to everyone who has messaged me and sent me emails and WhatsApps and every other kind of communication you can think of. I'm really sorry if I haven't replied to you. It's just been really manic here, and I do see your messages, but I just end up forgetting to respond to everyone. That being said, I thought I'd make a quick update video of what's been happening, what I've been doing, and you can see some of the process or some of the progress that I've made so far. So let's start off with the first one, car park. Now the car park is half done at the moment. I've got down the base for the car park, which is all good. Unfortunately, I've got a problem with my machine at the moment, so I'm waiting for a couple of parts for that. As soon as I get those parts, I can finish off the rest of the car park. So hopefully, depending on how fast I am at getting these parts, I can get the rest of this little job done by the end of the summer. So another fairly major job that I want to do here is put the cutouts in the island. Some of you may have heard about me talking about this before, but I wanted to put in sort of like these little channels just in the island, just so we had fish movement all the way around the lake, because at the moment it's pretty directional. So they'd have you know, other access into getting into other areas, which I know they do use. I've seen them use it in other establishments. So, you know, any kind of nook and cranny they love to get into. So I think it'd be a really good feature to have something like that as well. But again, it's another task that I've got to undertake. So hopefully that gives you a clearer insight into what I've been doing and what's been going on. I will go into a little bit more about what's been going on during the video. But for now, I'm going to have a little bit of a fishing session. I've got the week off work, so it gives me a little bit of time to just have a couple of days on the bank, and then I can do a little bit more work around here. There is also another little update to give you, because I'm not here to bullshit anyone, and I always like to keep people up to date with the stock in here and things like that. We've lost a couple of fish over the last sort of like year and a half. So the stock now is down to around 60 fish. The really bad news is last week, I ended up finding my big common, the biggest fish in the lake. Unfortunately, that one has passed. There's nothing I can do about it. It's just the way nature is. So, yeah, that one was £36, which is a bit of a kick in the teeth. But as I said, there's not a lot you can really do about it. You know, fish don't live forever. And in hindsight, we've done quite well to get where we are at the moment with, you know, the amount of fish that we have lost. So I'm not going to moan too much about it, but, you know, it was a nice fish, and yeah, it is what it is. You can't do nothing about it. So anyway, let's go and do some fishing. Let's see, let's go and have a look at how the rest of them are getting on, and hopefully we can drag a few out. Right then, let's have a look at what we're going to be using for the session. So I'm going to be using my bait boat for this session, because I'm using a lot of pellet and a lot of powders. I don't really fancy spotting or anything like that. It's a lot easier to use the bait boat. It's just easier. We have a PVA bag. Everyone knows what a PVA bag is. If you don't know what a PVA bag is, then you probably need to start from scratch. There's plenty of videos that do tell you what a PVA bag is though in my videos. If not, there are loads of them on YouTube. The bait boat is a Hunter 750 by Ridge Monkey. It's a nice little small compact boat actually that you can put on your barrow, put into a backpack. You get about 1 kilo of bait in it. It's not the biggest boat in the world, but it is a handy piece of kit. Here is the mix that I'm going to be using. It's a mixture of different size pellets with the Biomarine stick mix mixed into it. Done pretty well on this kind of stuff. It's kind of like a marine derivative of ingredients, and it's very, very potent stuff. Right, rod setup wise, I have 2 rods that are going to be obviously fishing straight in front of me, and my third rod is going to be on an angle for that corner, because what I have found in the past is that the takes from the right hand rod can be very, very savage, and yeah, it will literally pull the rod rest, like pull the rod pod off of the bank and almost into the water. That happened a couple of weeks ago, and from ever since then I was like, right, that's the end of doing that. So I now use a single bank stick for that one in the corner. Right, the QE2 is in the water, so let's get her on our way. We're going to work from left to right, so we're going to start off with this rod. Nice and straightforward. There's a little bit more zoomed in. We'll go right to where our post is. We're about half a rod length off there, I guess. Plop. Easy as that. And that is all 3 of our rods now fishing. So it's a little bit hot and warm at the moment, quite muggy. So we'll see what happens from here, but hopefully we'll get a bite. So why haven't I been on YouTube for the last year or so? Well, there's a few reasons to it really. I suppose the first is I got really turned off with going fishing for probably about 6 months. I don't know what it was, but I went for a real wave of just not wanting to go fishing anymore. That, and I was doing other things with my life as well. I've had a few projects on the side that I've been doing and things like that. But generally, I just kind of stopped going fishing for a bit, and that kind of like tailed off my videos. But it wasn't just that side of it that started to change my perspective on things, because I don't know what it is, but there just seems to be a lot of negativity around carp fishing. I don't know what causes it, or you know where it comes from, but loads of people have different things to say, and it's usually negative towards other people. So that kind of made me take a step back and go, fucking hell, like, do I really want to get involved in an industry like this where people are just going to come and, you know, potentially moan at each other either here or over the internet? That might sound a bit daft, but that's you know the kind of thing that I started thinking after a while. Anyway, after about 6 months or so, I thought to myself, do you know what? Bollocks to it. Like, at the end of the day, I've got my own lake, so I don't really need to go outside of this vicinity to go fishing anymore. So I can just, you know, do what I want to do here. But my attitude did change on that a little bit, because I thought to myself, no, the reason I built this was to eventually open it. So I am going to stick to that plan, but it's just taking me a little bit longer than I anticipated. When I first started this project, I went absolutely gun-ho on getting everything ready, but I didn't really leave a lot of time for myself in that period, and I think that is kind of like had the knock-on effect as to where I have got with it now. The other thing that I didn't really take into account is how long things are going to take to grow up. Now, I had it in my head that after 3 years, this place would be like a jungle. And that's not really the case. It is kind of getting there now. But these things do take a while. you've got to remember, I built this thing from the ground up. It's not like I built it in a wooded area, or, you know, an area of natural beauty where there was already a water source, and, you know, you could just dial into that, like some lakes that are built. I know of a few that started like that. You know, this place was just a plain flat field, and I've had to grow it up from the start. So it is starting to get there. I'm sure you guys will be able to see it a little bit more than I can, because I'm here every day. But I think it is now starting to take shape. So when will I open? Well, I'm not going to put pressure on myself to do it. That's number one, because that's all I've been doing for like the last 4 years. And to be honest with you, I really don't need to be doing it. I'm not opening my fishery to generate wealth. You know, that's not really what it's about for me. It is a side earner for me, but it's not the end of the world if I don't do it. So I'm literally taking my time, and I'm taking it sort of like now, you know, job by job by job. As I tick the jobs off, you know, I'll start to come back onto social media. I'll probably come back to the Facebook page that I've got for the fishery, because I haven't posted on that for a long time. And I know a lot of people send me messages on there and asking me things, but, you know, I always do mean to reply to them, but I always end up getting sidetracked and forgetting about it. So bear with me. It will come to fruition in the end, but I can't rush it. Right, well, it's about 9 o'clock at night now. It's taken quite a while to get a bite. I finally did get a bite, and I came back with this. Had the fish on for a while, but unfortunately, straight out in front of me, if you look towards the island, that little weed bed there, straight into that, converted the hook over into the weed, and I brung that big ball of weed out. Oh well, have to try again. Right then, as soon as I put that rod back out, I had a bite straight on it straight away, pretty much. Now, this isn't the biggest fish in the world, but this is one of the little C3s that I put in last year. Now, these fish went in around the 5-6 pound mark. And now, he's just on 10 pound. And he's very, very lively. Never been out the water since he's been in. Never seen a hook before. Could definitely tell that. Nice little fish. They're growing very, very well. That's £4 in a year. That is not bad going. Very happy with that. They are doing very well. Packing that on nicely. First time catcher for that one. Right, get her straight back in. Right, well, they're coming in their droves now. Just had another one. Probably about 10 minutes later, same rod, out towards the island. One of my smaller, fully scaled. This one's £15. Very nice little fish. Not too sure how big this one was when it went in. Let's have a look. Consult the record, see what it was. But all the same, everyone loves a fully. It's pretty angry as well. Look at that dorsal fin. Lovely little fish. Right, get this one back as well. Good morning. So didn't have anything else last night, which was pretty strange, and nothing really throughout the morning either. So I've decided to have a move. We are now in the inlet swim. So this is basically, I call it the inlet swim because this is where the borehole comes in, but pretty much it's almost like it's the smallest swim on the complex, but it can be the most deadly depending on whether you get it right or not. There's two keys to it within here. Number one, I use 2 rods in here, I find that the best strategy. Less is sometimes more in these situations, because it's not tight and narrow in here, but it is, you know, relatively set back and small. So I always use the 2 rods in here, and yeah, the wind's changed direction as well, so the wind is kind of spinning round into here. So we'll see how this goes. Like I say, moving's a bit of a pain in the ass, isn't it? Everyone, you know, no one wants to do it, but you've got to do what you've got to do sometimes. So get on your toes and see if you can find them. Rig and bait wise is exactly the same, no changes. Going to continue using the boat. About half a rod length off there. Nice little area. Clunk. Right, there we go then, 2 rods out. Made quite good space of the water that I've got. I do like this swim. It's kind of like canal-esque, if you like. But I have picked up a few of the big 30s in this one before. So hopefully, if we stay quiet enough, we might land a few. But you have got to be quiet in here. Right then, finally got one. Taking a bit of a while actually, but as is the case with this swim, sometimes you have to be really quiet and really patient. It's about 7 o'clock in the evening now. We just had this little one. Another one of the fullies. Now, I'm going to have a look at my record, but I think this one was about £5 when we put it in. Back in 2020, the November of 2020. This is up to £14 now. And very, very fat. I remember it being a little skinny little fish. Have a go at that. See if I can find the photo in a minute. Right, happy enough. Get this one back. Right then, they're coming like buses now. Just had another one, literally same rod, 10 minutes later, kind of like a carbon copy of what happened on the other side. There we go. Got a couple of wounds to treat on her. This one's 15.2. I'll have to check my records in a minute and have another look and see what this one went in at. Not too sure, probably around the £10 mark I would have thought. But she's pretty recognisable by the scale pattern on this one. If you look on the top, she's got that one single scale, so should be able to find it quite easily. Right, I'm going to get this one back in. Put a bit of propolis on these wounds first and get her back. A bit of an evening update now. 9:30. It's just starting to get dark. Might not look it on the camera, but it is. It's just started raining as well. First bit of rain we've had for quite a while, but I don't think we're going to get a lot of it. So let's see what happens tonight. Hopefully get a couple of runs. Good morning. Well, I say good morning. It's probably about 12 o'clock now. The next day, nothing through the night last night, and I am just about to pack up. So it is time for me to bring the rods in. I've got a little bit of work to do today, so the rest never stops. Got to carry on. But thanks for watching. Hopefully I've been able to answer some of the questions that you all had, and I'll see you in the next one. My next video will be the YouTube bloggers match, which is at Creedy Lakes in Crediton, and that's this weekend coming, so there'll be another video out for that shortly. Until then, take care, tight lines, see you soon.